Being a royal comes with both royal duties and royal controversies. This is even more true when you're one of the oldest and grandest royal families in the world, the British royal family. Meghan Markle might be its newest member, but she's already several controversies old in her short reign. Let's talk about a few Markle controversies in the royal family. We'll let you decide whether they are worthy of royal behavior or not. First off, Meghan's entry into the royal family was seen as controversial. Surely, when your initiation itself is laced with controversy like Meghan's was, then future bombshells are to be expected. Kudos to Meghan though, since her arrival was only the start of the fireworks season that's still lighting up tabloid pages with scandals to this day. The arrival generated gossip and hype like all royal family affairs, but the actress's role as a member of the family would prove her toughest yet. Even before she was formally wedded to Prince Harry, the Suits cast member was plagued by public scrutiny over her private and professional choices. Criticism raged in the tabloids over her social media presence, her outfits, and past film roles. All this negative attention towards a royal's unprecedented in the digital age, even Prince Andrew's connection to Epstein, weren't as hotly debated as Meghan's marriage. This says something about public curiosity for petty tabloid gossip, and Meghan's got a lot to say about it too. Yes, perhaps her biggest mistake, second to being raised a commoner, was that she's never been afraid to speak her mind. So let's see how she got to be the person she is, and why some parts of the public and the royal elite don't think that quite fits the bill for a member of royalty. Not to mention, Meghan didn't come from a royal background. Buckingham's been around for centuries. This meant sticking with traditions, and one of those was to keep family ties with royal lineage only. Only recently, in an example set by illustrious Princess Diana of Wales, was this idea challenged. That challenge didn't mean it's not still frowned upon to this day to marry outside royal blood. Meghan's just a member of the public. You might think this as a rather fitting tribute for someone who's marrying the people's Prince Harry, but the truth is that Meghan, even more so than Harry, takes the crown when it comes to speaking the common person's voice. This has often pitched her against widely accepted royal customs, starting with marrying into it as a self-made and working-class member of the masses. This was itself enough to cause shockwaves throughout Buckingham Palace. All this makes it very difficult to register the fact that the marriage of the royal couple was as recent as 2018. Since then, each molehill from her past has been literally turned into a mountain that was supposed to point to Meghan's perceived incompetence and underserved place in the royal family. What's more, love isn't all it takes. The story of the prince or princess rescuing each other is lovely and sadly misleading, as is the story of love bridging all borders. This reality is portrayed by no other than Meghan and Harry, whose proclamation of mutual respect and admiration for each other's seen as pointing toward rebellion. Within the royal house, this rebellion meant prioritizing individual over family, which is simply not acceptable in a house built on and around collective interests. The family is one, in other words. But as Meghan showed, her family, Harry, and their future children is first. In an interview with Oprah, which was a much controversial step for its supposed indiscretion and lack of respect for the privacy of the royal family, the former Hollywood star didn't hold back from saying just that. Appearing together as Harry and Meghan, the couple touched on the firm's invincibility in collective decision-making for the family, that they don't subscribe to much a model of thinking has laid the grounds not only for public criticism, but serious accusations of treason against the royal family. The tragic death of the Commonwealth's darling and Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip, turned an already controversial interview into a disrespectful publicity stunt in the eyes of the public. It also turned Meghan into public villain number one. While you might think things couldn't possibly get any worse, Meghan would soon find out that controversy feeds even more controversy. Still, she's never shied from controversy. She was born into it after all. Let's look into how her personal life was turned into a stain on her character and fodder for public consumption. Up next, Meghan's family background became a hotbed of scandal. Meghan's relationship with her family was always in the public spotlight. In light of their nuptials, the heat turned on to the extended family of Meghan. Unfortunately, there was a lot of gossip there for the tabloids to feast on. One of those included the actress's patchy relationships with her siblings and father. Really, her blood relations were also linked to the race relations within the predominantly white royal family. While the family has grown more inclusive over the years, there's a lingering sentiment that the royal family has to remain native English and Caucasian. This was complicated by the biracial identity of Meghan, with an African-American mother and a white father. Just as controversial was Meghan's past divorce, and her own American upbringing. This stark contrast was blown up even further as highbrow members of the royal family, distant or near, crown prince or the untitled peer, all are trained in the art of the public press. On the other hand, Meghan's family wasn't very media savvy nor considered a proper fit to join the royal household. Following up Meghan's reversal of royal traditions. Meghan's always shown she's her own person first and a royal after. It's how she's always been, not having known royal protocol nor having been raised into the tradition. While she's never been disrespectful of the traditions, she's also challenged the public scrutiny that comes with some of those traditions. One of those was refusing to share a picture of her newborn with the press right after labor. Examples like this threw up the question of the headstrong independence shown by Meghan and what it might mean for the future of the royal family as a sovereign institution, first and foremost. Now for the departure from the royal family. Really, there's always that once-in-a-generation maverick in each family. In the previous century, there were trailblazing examples of Princess Diana. Most recently, the royal family became breaking news thanks to Meghan Markle. Even the good intentions of such rebels are treated with suspicion, particularly because of the high profile and stature of the royal family, which is always expected to be in the public eye. This appearance is perfectly coordinated and follows a strict protocol that all members of the family have to adhere to, unless it's Meghan. Being a non-royal from birth, she's gone her own way when it comes to following protocol. This might be the first departure from royal tradition, with Meghan and Harry's own Instagram channel by the name of Sussex Royal, a public channel of this kind that's controlled only by the couple and its team, and not directly by Kensington or Buckingham Palace, is a first in royal history. Soon, however, the actress who gained fame as a star in Suits would wear her own suit and do so in her own style. Her closet ally in this was Prince Harry, who was always by her side, releasing public press statements in her support. This support also turned into a touchy topic for the masses, who saw this as Harry the son being influenced unduly and unfavorably into becoming Harry the husband. Though Princess Meghan and Prince Harry would soon put these controversies to rest by announcing an even bigger controversy, this came with their decision to drop their royal titles and move to the US. For members of the royal family, this move was big in more ways than one. While it would mean crossing the continent and being away from the public they were supposed to represent, it also meant an almost clean break from their former royal duties. Even bigger than this was unfinished business from even more unresolved controversies still raging on back home in the UK. Coming up, bullying accusations have trailed Meghan since 2018. The tough schedule of a royal is no joke, and perhaps no one knows it better than personal assistants and secretaries. In fact, Meghan's personal staff has known it a bit too close up, with a lot of stress and demanding behavior being detailed by former aides. While it's perfectly understandable for any person to reasonably and fairly dismiss their staff, Meghan's accused of being unreasonable and less than fair in her treatment of her aides. This included untimely emails and tantrums that racked up a pile of resignations on her desk. The latest and most credible voice to lend truth to this controversy was Jason Knopf, a communications secretary. While this was pretty controversial in itself, Meghan's attempt to clarify her stance only landed her in more trouble. Her reasons for the accusations: dirty tricks by Buckingham Palace. Such a response not only generated more heat for her inability to take constructive criticism and dismissal of concerns of bad behavior. Plus, we're sure dragging Buckingham Palace into the mix didn't cool things down at all. Whether the accusations were true or not, public sentiment undoubtedly turned even more negative toward Meghan after her response to the rumors. Finally, Harry and Meghan's untitled TV show promises fresh controversy. While Your Birthright is a hard tag to shake off, both as a royal and as a royal-to-be, the burden of expectations is immense when you're seen as the heir to a throne that rules over a whole nation. For Meghan's critics, her birthright excludes her from a seat at the royal table. Sadly, no matter what you do, you can't escape the circumstances of your birth. Neither should you be asked to. So good for Meghan, who stood her ground and remained proud and content with her life. Still, you can imagine her pride was perceived as arrogance. Combined with her outspoken nature, this made for an even more controversial figure for the new princess in the public imagination, which doesn't seem to be dying down anytime soon, as Archewell's home production's about to be released sometime this year. We can just say this: the untitled TV show has already got the controversy mill going. That's it for today's video, folks. Do you think Meghan deserves all the criticism she gets? Do tell us your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, do press the like button, and if you'd like to see more content like this, don't forget to hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.